that's where the lady said she saw Jesus on the wall that one time a few years ago, but it wasn't really Jesus on the wall. It was just the light fixture or something like that. You know, it's crazy.
You know what?
Oh goodness, and it's Sunday too. Lord forgive me. But anyways, so Tammy is from Roberts Park, and she seems like a nice girl though. But it looked like Jocelyn's going to take her out of her element and make her become the Roberts Park mascot that she is, because she's going to go off on her real quick in the future episode about, you know, them going back and forth or whatever, because Mimi telling her about, you know, whatever. Now, the real thing is Mimi and Nico. Now, Mimi and Nico and Rashida, her storyline was still boring, so I really don't want to talk about Rashida yet, unless her mama pop off and do something real decent, because her mama give her the storyline for real.
Yeah, her mama that mama George sticking on that brand juice.
Exactly. But Mimi and Nico, this first episode starts off with them basically confirming that they filmed their sex escapades and everything like that, and she was like, you know, I've never felt this kind of way, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I think that was very uncomfortable for me to watch.
Yes. I mean,
it's like, who does that?
Exactly. You are 65 years old.
Yeah, you 50 years old. You make me do things that I've never done with my body. Like, who really lays in the bed and talks to their man about that?
I know. You old geriatric ass. You're 65 years old with an AARP membership talking about that kind of stuff. That's just nasty. You are not vintage vagina yet. You're not Patti LaBelle. You are old and nasty with a 4-year-old daughter kissing your mouth, kissing your daughter with that mouth and showing Nico what that mouth do. That's just disgusting. But anyways, so then, you know, she talks about, you know, she tells her ex-girlfriend Arian about Erica that, you know, they filmed their sets and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. Then this when the Waterworks, the acting came out. Shout out to the SAG Awards and stuff, because Nico going to say that the tape was quotedly stolen from his purse from an airport, and because it was stolen from her purse, that someone got their hands on it, leaked it to media takeout, and now he going to sell the tape and stuff like that. And here come old Mimi old ass crying and carrying on, trying to act like
all over the table.
Yeah.
All over the table. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yes.
And you need to die.
Exactly. That tape was perfectly edited to not. That was on purpose. That's all I'm going to say. That was just on purpose. So she was feeling some kind of way and stuff like that. Then Stevie J confronted Nico in part 2 of the episode, because this is the part you didn't see, so you have to watch the recap real quick. But he basically confronted Nico about the tapes, because Nico and told Mimi to pack their bags so they could go on a trip to Los Angeles, so that they can basically go to Vivid Entertainment and talk about the release of the tape, and talk about the plans for the release of it, having the premiere party for the tape, the millions of money they can make from the tape alone and stuff like that. So here come Mimi and her Waterworks again, talking about she has priorities, she has a child and stuff like that. And then Stevie J said he want to lawyer up and, you know, get the best lawyers to take their little child. What's their little child name again?
Ava.
Something. They're going to take the little Ava. Something. They're going to take because the child, unless she speaks out, she's not relevant at this present time. So he's going to take the child. And you know, Mimi and her Waterworks again, she feels kind of way, but you still making the situation worse by flipping Stevie J off. Because Stevie J, even though doesn't have his clean history, he's still coming out as the better person in the situation at this present time. Even though he married a hoe, he's still coming out as a better man in the situation, a better parent in the situation. So then Stevie confronts Nico, because he feels like Nico is messing with her head. You know, he's confusing Mimi and stuff like that, because Mimi is an old woman. She's on a respirator and all of this. You know, that's why her voice sounds like that. And, you know, she is 65 years old. So old women sometimes they don't have their minds screwed on right because she didn't take her pills. So he confronted Nico. Nico gonna jump the fence like Go-Go Morphin Power Rangers in that green outfit, and I'm just like, for real, like y'all just gonna fight in the park and stuff like that in some abandoned backyard that was a stage, for real. Quite, that was a stage. That's all I'm gonna say. They staged that whole situation, but it is made for TV, and we get, we like the ratchets and stuff like that. So that was your Love and Hip Hop Atlanta recap, and we want to see what happens on next week's episode on Monday night, people. So y'all keep it here. I'm going to miss like 30 minutes of it because I won't be home in time to watch the first 30 minutes of the show. So I don't, I'm gonna have Monique on this on the text line to help me, figure that whole situation out. What happens on the show. But
let's actually be home to catch it at 8:00 p.m.
Yes, people. So. Moving on to another story too. Marrying the Game. Now that show came back too on Wednesday night, and I was like,
I missed everything on Wednesday night.
Now Marrying the Game, I'm still trying to figure out why are we still calling the show Marrying the Game when basically we know Tiffany is not going to marry the game, especially after the reports that came out like a month ago about him, another domestic situation. Another game of Truth or Truth.
Go ahead and say it there. Another game of Truth or Truth.
Yeah. Another game of Truth or Truth. And it was just like, why are we still calling the show Marrying the Game? Now, that little Callie, their little daughter, now she deserves her own show. She needs her own spin-off series on VH1. She don't even need a spin-off series on Playhouse Disney or on Nick Jr. She needs like her own adult show on VH1 because she has that much personality. She's like, she's going to be a gangster rapper one day, but she's still gonna be lovable. Like she will kill you at 5 years old, like Lil Boosie's daughter, but she will still be a lovable person, unlike Boosie's daughter. So we're gonna see how this whole situation plays out this season on Marrying the Game. But basically, on the first episode, he buys the new house, and Tiffany is writing in her journal at 65 years old too. Well, I'm wondering.
You know where I have got to see this because I didn't see this. Not writing in a journal.
Yes, well, a diary. I'm calling it a journal just because that's age appropriate, but because she's 65 writing in the diary, this is some Mariah Carey old woman type stuff. So.
If they even do that?
No, on TV too. That's called texting on your laptop or something. Putting a little message on your notepad on your laptop.
Yes.
That
is hilarious.
Wasting paper, going to Dollar Tree buying journals. Buying journals from Dollar Tree and stuff. Wasting paper. But anyways, and then R&B Divas Atlanta came on. I've been watching the show.
Oh, I missed that too.
This show was good. If you miss it, shout out to Yardy, Mr. World Premiere.net. Check him out online so you can watch the episodes if you miss it. But the show, I'm gonna have to say, Kiki Wyatt and her family, they're going to raise some delusional kids, or some kids that their kids are going to be kind of loop-de-loop in the head one day, because they do a lot of cursing in front of their kids. Not so much her husband, but Kiki and her mom and her brother, Kiever, they be really popping off at the mouth in front of the kids. I was just looking like, wow. I was like, where's the filter at? Like, y'all not going to filter yourselves around the little 2-year-old and stuff? Like, y'all were really cursing your asses off in front of them. And y'all half white. Y'all supposed to know right. Y'all, and they just turning up for the cameras. And then Latavia is a real pretty woman too. I didn't really pay much attention to her in Destiny's Child because I didn't really hear her sing. I just know she spoke the little interludes on The Writings on the Wall. But that's all I know her from, and with the red hair. But she's a really pretty girl now, set aside the drug abuse and all of that she had, or the substance abuse. She's real pretty, but she's having reservations about singing in the concert because she doesn't feel like her voice is strong enough. She hasn't sang in a long time, so I can see where that happens. And then also another thing too was when, what happened? Oh, Monifa and, no, I forgot these old hoes, but they basically, the show is really good though. Mila from 702, she's being all bossy, and well, not bossy, but she's kind of reserving it because Selena Johnson brought this deal with them singing background vocals for each other during their little concert that they're trying to plan together at the Willett Hall real quick. And
for the showcase.
The showcase at the school cafeteria hall. And they were basically like, she don't want to, no offense, but she don't want to sing background. So I was like, Mila, this is the same reason when you got kicked out of 702 for that one song,
You know
Pootie
what? You don't know the girl business.
That's why she got kicked out of the group for that one song, Pootie Tangin', because she couldn't hang with the group. She wanted to let the little light-skinned girl sing up front. So, because the little two sisters who started the group couldn't sing up front, they kicked her out the group, and they put that other mute in the group where she was singing Pootie Tangin', and the Pootie Tangin' didn't pop off, so hey, it is what it is. But so that was R&B Diva. You should catch that every Wednesday on TV One. So what else we gonna talk about real quick? Let me just look at
I know, and even though I did not see this, Hollywood Exes also came
Hollywood
back.
Exes, yes.
For another season. I think the season premiere, was that also on Wednesday or was that on Tuesday?
That was on Wednesday too.
But did you even see it?
Yeah, all the shows came on Wednesday, so I saw it. I saw Hollywood Exes. Mate, who was Princess' ex-girlfriend or ex-wife. You know, Princess was, married to her once upon a time. Y'all know I can't really say his name on the show because I don't want to get sued.
She seems to think that she is still married to him for whatever reason.
Yeah. So she was at Nicole Murphy's house, and she basically picked up the sugar jar and threw it on the ground. So Nicole Murphy and her daughters, Bria and the other girl, they basically confronted Mate for throwing the sugar jar on the floor. And Mate gonna claim that her purse hit the thing, but we all seen the show where Mate had the history of throwing things on the ground and breaking them. So she's a little loop in the head too. And Andrea came back, and she basically confirmed that she is engaged and she's about to be married. And if y'all don't know, Andrea is R. Kelly's ex-wife, so she was there through the peeing and the child pornography as well. And hey, it is what it is. So she moved on, life after life and whatnot. So, we're going to see how the rest of the season plays out on the show. Now, one thing that kind of surprised me hearing this week, too, well, I think the news just really popped off, like, basically today or yesterday. I forgot when. But basically, what happened is Sherri Sheppard and her husband. Now, I haven't been watching The View like that in a while. I think the last time I saw The View was when Candy and Mama Joyce was on the show trying to make sense of the whole situation. But Sherri Sheppard and her husband are going through some marital trouble. So sources connected to the couple have basically told TMZ that Sherri Sheppard and her husband Lamar Sally have hired a surrogate who is carrying their baby, and estimated delivery date of the baby's birth is July 28th. But he filed legal documents to end the marriage. The docs are for legal separation, but reasons are being told that the divorce box wasn't checked because he's only lived in California for 3 months and there's a 6-month residency requirement. He would change to divorce in 3 months, basically. So according to the legal docs, he wants full legal and physical custody of the unborn child and wants Sherri to only have visitation rights. Sherri hasn't responded yet, and he also wants spousal support, and he wants the prenup invalidated based on fraud. So I'm trying to figure out.
So, Lord back up, but I thought I was going to only have to send out the prayer warriors for the dream and his foolishness.
Yes.
But, now we got to send up our prayers to what happened for Sherri Sheppard. So, you know.
Now, I thought their marriage was always on the up and up. Like, they always seemed happy and stuff. When he visited the show and stuff like that, he's there for Sherri because, Sherri's son that she has from her ex-husband, he has special needs. So, it always seemed like there was a perfect match with each other and stuff like that. Like, she finally found her happily ever after.
Yeah, and I said, hell, after this story breaking, I'm going to have to ask the prayer warriors up for myself, too. Sherri Sheppard and Nisha Nash, they're the poster children for finding love after 40 with younger men. And hell, now I got to defer that dream for my damn self. I can see it then. Like you said, because you really thought that this was like the perfect couple. Like, I don't know what happened. He cited I can't stop. Irreconcilable differences is what he is citing. So, no one really knows, what was happening, what was going on. But, I really feel bad for her. Because, she, always talks about the very bad relationship that she had with her first husband. And then, I think while she was pregnant, with her son Jeffrey, like I said, we did her special needs messages for him being